Today, in the Extraction series, we're going to take a look at Starbucks. In the early days, under the leadership of CEO Howard Schultz, Starbucks built its entire brand on being different. Not just a coffee company, a community. They called their workers partners. They offered health care to part-timers. They paid for college. They put inclusion and sustainability in every press release. Last year, Starbucks' profit was $3.8 billion. The average Starbucks barista took home $14,674 last year. Not per month, per year. The federal poverty line for a single adult is $15,060. The average Starbucks barista earns less than that. The people making your $8 latte are living below the poverty line. In 2024, Starbucks paid their new CEO, Brian Niccol, $95.8 million. And he took the role in September, so that was for 4 months of work. Let's look at what Starbucks did with their profit. They spent $1.3 billion to buy back their own stock. And they paid out an additional $2.6 billion in dividend, cash money wired directly to shareholders. Now remember, a dividend is optional profit sharing paid out to shareholders of a company's stock. When you add the dividend and the buyback, the total payout to shareholders comes out effectively to $3.85 billion. They paid out more than the company actually earned in profit because in our colonial extraction model, shareholders always come first. Since 2021, baristas have been asking for 3 things: enough hours to actually pay their bills, fair pay, and an end to retaliation for organizing. Starbucks is still fighting this out in court with federal labor regulators. Now let's come back to shareholders and dividends because this is important. The reason that most ordinary investors are unfamiliar with dividends is because you never see them. Let me show you that there are 2 different investor profiles. Wealthy investors own enough individual shares of stock that the quarterly profit-sharing dividends are deposited as cash into their accounts. They extract it. From there, they might spend it. They may make new investments either in the stock market or in islands or bunkers or rocket ships. They get cash every quarter. For small investors, the dividend story is different. Let's say that you have a 401k. You probably own Starbucks stock and the stock of many other corporations through an index fund. So when Starbucks or any of those other corporations pays out quarterly dividends, that cash goes directly to the giant institutional fund managers who in most cases reinvest it in the same index fund on your behalf. So you never see any cash in your account from dividends. This means that the aggregated dividends of all small investors continue to buy more stock, while all of the wealthy investors are extracting profits. Small investors are keeping the market stabilized, while wealthy people take out profit as cash. Meanwhile, small investors keep their fingers crossed, watching the number on their screen get slightly larger each year, hoping that nothing collapses before they retire. The wealthiest 10% of Americans now own over 90% of the stock market, which means when Starbucks pays out $2.6 billion in dividends, almost all of that cash flows out to people who are already wealthy enough to extract it as income. If you're not in that 10%, you're reinvesting in the stock market, which means you ain't no shareholder. That's not a market. That's an extractive class system dressed up like a friendly mermaid.